People engaged, stop for dueling decades. The Matrix and Blade versus Bloodsport and Renegade. Strap on that cap, bust out the power glove. Come fight for what you love.
Dueling decades.
Poop culture, popping pins, dropping hand grenades. Van Halen locked in Mortal Kombat with David Gray. Van Halen Ballet and Sick, Iron Maiden, GNR. Come fight for what you love.
Dueling decades.
All right, Man Crush. Pick our next category. Where do you want to go, man?
This is the last single point round. Let's go with television. How's that?
Sounds great.
All right. You want to lead off with yours?
Sure. January 10th, 1982. We're going to talk about the NFC Championship game played between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers at Candlestick Park. With 58 seconds left in the game and the 49ers facing a 3rd and 3, San Francisco tight end Dwight Clark made a leaping grab at the back of the end zone, completing a 6-yard touchdown from quarterback Joe Montana, enabling the 49ers to defeat the Dallas Cowboys 28-27. This catch, or as it is known throughout history as the catch, is the most memorable and replayed events in National Football League history. The highlight's been played almost every broadcast since. The game represented the end of the Cowboys' domination in the NFC conference since its inception in the 1970s, and began the dynasty of the 49ers that would go throughout the 1980s. So the catch.
I believe that's the catch.
The catch.
The catch.
The
It's a little bit better than the catch.
It depends what part of the country you're from. I'm not a 49ers fan, so it's the catch. So that's what we got. January 10th, 1982.
What's the catch? Sorry.
The catch was when Dwight Clark leaped in the back of the end zone, made this
Football boring. Next.
no way you haven't seen the highlight. So
No, he's fucking with you, Mark. But let me just throw this out there that as far as dynasties go, if you think about it, that was probably the most likable of all the dynasties.
Yeah,
the past 30 years.
I
I think most people, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice and all those guys, they liked those guys. They were a likable bunch. I don't know if they really were, but it appeared so. And then, the 90s, you had the Cowboys came back. And then you got the Patriots for the past fucking
20.
80 years. So, yeah. So this is, that was really a likable dynasty. But the catch. All right. I'm going to read this one to Batman here. So on January 1st, 1982, Ted Turner decided to listen to the general public for once, who were complaining about certain aspects of his new CNN cable network, which is less than 2 years old at the time. Watchers of CNN generally felt that they needed to wait too long for a specific story to come on. Just as an example, it wouldn't be uncommon for you to turn on CNN and catch maybe like a half hour of Polish translated news before they would get on to more relevant news. So that would piss a lot of people off. So in spite of all the extra time waiting, CNN decided to take a page out of all news radio and develop what called CNN2. As known now as headline news, of course, this new CNN2 would be patterned in updated 30-minute news segments throughout the day. So within a few short years, Ted Turner shifted the way news were digested for TV watchers, if you think about this. So like 2 to 3 years before this, when this didn't exist, all news came from 3 networks. It was either ABC, NBC, or CBS. And those news programs were basically scattered over like 3 or 4 times per day. So you were never seeing new news. So by creating a network like CNN2, people can get updated news whenever they turned on the television. And they split it up where it was like 7 minutes of major national and international news. Then they would have less important or soft news, followed by like sports, and then concluded in weather. So this is like a pretty big deal.
What about the people who wanted the Polish translated news?
Then they can just continue to watch CNN.
But what's happened to that now?
I don't know. It's probably PNN, Polish News Network.
Right.
You can just change your TV so it reads it to you in Polish.
You can? Wow.
Yes.
It's not the same though, is it?
No, probably not.
No, but that, I mean, really, if you think about what he did over the course of those couple of years, that just completely changed and revolutionized
absolutely.
how news was driven.
Totally ruined the news.
Yeah, well, it gave birth to what we have now in the news culture we have in this country, where news isn't just news anymore. It's a form of entertainment.
Yeah, it's
Right.
massively awful.
Right.
in
And this
every
was
regard.
really the start of that.
I was watching, it was so funny. I was on the plane coming back from San Francisco the other day, and the woman in front of me on the chair had CNN on like for hours on the way home, and breaking news was up in the banner at the bottom half of the screen of CNN for about 2.5 hours straight. I'm like, you can't be breaking news for 2.5 hours straight. It's just not possible. Just stop it.
Barry the kangaroo is giving birth.
Yeah, right.
To a human.
It's a snake. All right. So, what do you guys have for news or
We got
TV?
some great stuff.
TV.
You got this, Mike?
Sure, I can take this one.
Okay.
On January 3rd, 1991, Blossom debuted on NBC as a mid-season replacement. The series consisted of a family abandoned by their mother and focused on the life of main character Blossom, along with her friend Six, a musician father, brother Joey, played by Joey Lawrence, and older brother Tony, a recovering addict, later turned paramedic, giving him ample access to needles. The series is one of the many sitcoms to feature a single father like Full House, Who's the Boss, Different Strokes, and The Andy Griffith Show. The show ran for 5 seasons and 114 episodes. Whoa!
Yeah, great pick, Mike. I loved Blossom. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Who didn't? That opening sequence when she's just dancing around doing nothing?
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a great show. It really
And now
was.
Joey's on Celebrity Big Brother, which starts tonight. Wow.
Is he on that? Wow.
He is.
And if you have a thing for nasal intercourse like I do, you know, Blossom is really up there in the top 5 nasal female icons.
Yeah.
Really.
And I mean, Jenna Von always stole that show. I mean, we all know that.
She always
Top
wore
notch
great
right
hats.
Yeah.
Great hats.
Really had a great haberdasher.
Just wonderful hats.
Yeah,
Real
lo-
signature
lovely
of the
hats.
show.
Cozy hats.
Yeah, depending on the day and season.
Yeah, in the early 90s, it was always a constant battle of who had nicer hats, Blossom or Four Non-Blondes. And week to week, who knows?
Right?
What's
And if
going
Blossom had joined Four Non-Blondes, would they have had a monopoly on hats?
They were 3 non-blondes until
Blossom
like we're just missing that intangible. What do we do?
We need somebody with a big nose.
I know. Let's get a girl with a name we can't pronounce.
Well, I was going to say, isn't the actress who played Blossom related to the character Max Bialystock from The Producers? Isn't that her name? Like, isn't her name like Max Bialystock? What's her name? Mayim Bialik or something?
Yeah.
I couldn't pronounce it. I didn't want to write
That
it down.
sounds like a technical name for a over-the-counter drug.
Right?
It may cause seizures.
Yeah. May cause swelling of the groin and purpling of the head and neck.
And that's actually her name. We didn't disguise it by reversing the audio there. So,
No.
just so you know, for those of you listening along at home.
Yeah.
All right, so Blossom, that's a pretty solid pick. What do you got, Bo?
Yeah.
There were a lot of decent television things happening in January 91, but I decided to go with the debut of Talk Soup on the E! Network, January 7th, 1991, hosted, of course, by the lovely Greg Kinnear. January 7th, 1991, aired until August 2002, obviously airing select clips of the previous day's daily talk shows like the Jerry Springer Show. They poked fun of basically a lot of different talk shows, and there were some shows that were like, don't use our shit on air. So like Oprah Winfrey, she refused to allow them to show clips on their show and stuff like that.
Trying to show her clit on her show.
Yeah.
No wonder she was sad.
They're trying to show Oprah waxing her bean on Talk Soup.
You get to touch it, and you get to touch it, and you get to touch it.
Look
Talk
under your
Soup.
chairs.
Talk Soup
Fucking
was
Winfrey,
nominated for
man.
5 Daytime Emmy Awards, winning once in 95 for Outstanding Special Class Program. Remains the only E show to ever win an Emmy. And, of course, we had the spinoff, The Soup, which aired from 2004 to 2015 with Joel McHale. So there you go. Talk Soup, January 7th, 1991, debuted on E!
And McHale has just stolen the format yet again for the McHale show
That's
on
Netflix, right?
instead of doing what he should have done and starred in a McHale's Navy remake, which would have just been much, much better.
I've been waiting for that for years.
With
And-
the corpse of Ernest Borgnine.
right. And you're forgetting about the other host, John Henson, which was the downfall of Talk Soup.
Yeah, the puppet guy, right?
Yeah.
Isn't he the guy that says, please have a seat?
No, that's Chris Hansen.
Oh, my
Can you
bad.
imagine Talk Soup had a To Catch a Predator vibe? Like he just walks in and
Oh,
he's got this little desk and a couch, and
Yeah.
come on in and have a seat.
And another hilarious thing I'm going to tell this would-be child rapist is that yesterday on some Jerry Springer show, and he's like, "Can I leave yet? No, have a seat."
Touch Oprah's clit.
Well, I think we're missing the obvious thing here. Why isn't there a show like Talk Soup where instead of showing clips of talk shows, you're just introducing clips of To Catch a Predator?
But they had
live
the Bob
TV.
Saget sound effects from America's Funniest Home Videos too.
Okay, we got to go to the ruling.
The ruling. Well, we have. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have here? Exactly. It was so long ago when we were talking about this that I almost don't care anymore. But it was Dallas Cowboys, 49ers, some sport thing.
The
Some
cat.
sport bowling.
What they, a guy catched a ball during a football game. Who ever heard of such a thing? I'm just kidding.
Would
And
it have been any better if he kicked a round ball into a net?
no, it would be much better if it was ice hockey and it was the Maple Leafs. That's what it would
Oh,
be.
wow. All right. Well, Ty Domi does kick ass, just for the record.
Ted Turner invents crap news was the second story from 1982, and forever destroys the beauty of factual-based information spreading. And then in 1991, we have Blossom debuting, some of those great hats that we talked about, and the Talk Soup debut, which, despite sounding like a really shitty premise for a show, apparently still goes on today. So much so that McHale is still making a career out of it, and that Twazak, Tosh, whatever his name is, did a version of it about the internet. So it apparently it never ends, this concept. And so if it was purely on, it is on me because I'm the judge. The winner is 1991.
Wow.
Blossom was so formative for our generation. Really, it taught us all about unpronounceable names, bad hats, and nostril fucking. And then Talk Soup, while not quite as iconic, it clearly has legs because it's still walking around today.
But like a lot of Americans, they still cheat on their wives and get into nasty fistfights. For proof, we need only look at this highlight from the show Out and About. It features Don and Dawn Phobin, a Canuck couple who've been experiencing difficulties in the bedroom. Let's watch.
Could you explain yourself? I'm sorry.